Look at this crazy guy. I made it, and he's in his jungle gym. Oh my goodness. It was very interesting to get him here. But first of all, thank you to everybody that has made it. I already got 5 likes. That is awesome. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm just gonna go and do the sound check first. Seeing that he maybe comes down to tripod level. Hello. That's him saying hi. Hello. Okay, you're not in the viewfinder. Okay, let's change that. There we go. Greetings from Siliano. Okay, let's try something else. Let's see if he's up for it. We'll start with overhead. I don't know, sometimes he's in for the shower, sometimes he just likes to get a refresh. Sometimes he really goes for it, opens his wings and goes nuts. Hey, Orchids by the Lake, Orchid Ninja, Julian-san, it's good to see you. Fernanda. So we're just giving him a little bit of a cool down. He'll be dry possibly by the time this live is finished. And if this live goes any longer than I expect, I'll sing you all a lullaby depending on what part of the world you're in. Or we'll have coffee and crumpets for breakfast together. Because my schweinfurthianum is really pot bound, and unless I see what's going on with the root ball, I really don't have a distinct plan for what I'm going to do with it. I have 2 options available that I've planned to do, but if it looks nasty and I really need to get in, then it will be a root ball cleanup. Yeah, he's just up for a refreshment. Hey, are you a good bird? Are you a good bird? You're a good bird. Yes, you're a good bird. Hello. Hello. Good bird. You want to dance? Good bird. Good bird. It's not your dancing season? No? No dancing? I'm sorry. You gonna keep us company? Aw, he's so cute when he's like this. When he's not making a mess eating popcorn with me. Anywho, speaking of time constraints, Epidendrum schweinfurthianum. She's a young one. She has not bloomed for me, but maybe one day. She's done super well in leca and self-watering since I got her in 2021 from Afri Orchids, where I went totally mad with an order because I had never ordered orchids directly from Africa. And, well, I went mad, and Matt by Nature and Fernanda Nacimiento Orchids and Succulents, they managed to contain themselves. I went totally bonkers. I even sniffed the paper bag that the orchids came in because I was like, there may just be a hint of African air in there. So, sound check. Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. La 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 la. Summertime when the living is easy. Okay. Fantastic. Thank you, Julian, for letting me know. And if you just muted yourself, I don't blame you. Anyway, I love this orchid. I don't care if she ever blooms for me or not. She is one of those that it's supposed to grow like a weed. I have as yet to discover whether it does grow like a weed, but she is growing well, let's just say. So she can get up to a meter and a half, 2 meters high. So you can see that mine is still a baby. We're nowhere near that. It could also be that, like with some fish, they will only get as large as their space in the aquarium is. If you give them a bigger space, then they will grow. It's a possibility that that is the case with the schweinfurthianum. But her blooms, if she does ever bloom for us, ooh, they are so tropical. They are bright, hot pink and then with some orange, neon orange accents in the lip. At least that is how the blooms are sold on the internet. But she grows in my climate kind of all year round, with the exception that come winter, she slows down a bit, but her growing points never stop. Really never stop. It's only now in the spring that you can in the summer, spring, whatever, you can actually see that there's marginal growth coming out. I have to be super careful because I do see some thrips have had a go at her, so I mist her regularly with garlic alcohol, and I'm seeing a mealybug in one of the growth points, and this is what she looks like when she pushes out a new growth. That right there. And then there's another new one coming down in there. But the growths that are already somewhat established, they continue. So it's not like she has reached a maximum size where there's a terminal leaf or anything. It's all super fun. And besides, oh, the characteristics, the structure, everything about this. She has like a sandpapery texture on the stems as well. It's so unique. Love it. Now, first thing I've ever seen with this orchid, it's easier to show while she's in the pot still, but because everything looks the same and she's in a different angle of my visual now, I can't find it, but she grows keikis, apparently. And that's a first for me. I've never noticed that. So where are you? Where is that little keiki? I want to show you. There you are. Okay. See that? Look, I did not know this. That's awesome. Can you imagine getting a big one like this and then she starts chucking out keikis? I mean, hey, hello, Baryota, and all that fun stuff. So if we break it, that will be collateral damage, but there's also a little bit of roots already starting. I don't know if my dry climate is going to permit the roots to progress, but it's fun to know. So we're going to be working with her today. And I have not squeezed the pot, but judging by her growth potential, the way she grows, the chunkiness of the roots that she's got, I think we are in for hammer time. Hammer time. But I want to get this out in the meantime, because I don't want to be poking myself, or if I'm going to break a growth, then it won't be because I forgot to take this out. Breaking growths, not a good idea. They just stop. So I've had that happen as well. When I was moving her, I wasn't careful, she snagged on something, and then you break a growth, and it's bye-bye growth. Same here. You snap one of these, it's not like she's going to branch, it's not like an axilla or something like that. There, snap that, and it's just stops, which is very annoying. So there's no real, let's just say there's no real grace if you make a mistake with this orchid. I'm hoping that the roots will have the same kind of, won't have the same kind of characteristics, because if she's that pot bound, there will be no grace. Oh, blimey. Yes. Okay, it's hammer time. And there will be no editing here. So let me just touch base with everybody here and see if anybody else has joined. Not yet, so I've said hello to all of you. Right. Yikes. It's Sunday afternoon. I should be chilling. Have a chilled repot. And I figured if I'm going to do one that's pot bound, normally I edit everything out. That takes too long. I just leave something that gives you an idea of what it entailed to get an orchid out of a pot. Well, here we are. I think maybe I should have made this one a video and taken another Ancelia or something. Okay, right. Just going to see if I can dislodge anything from the top. There's nothing growing out of the bottom that's going to stop us. Here we go. Right. Small taps. Oh, come here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Again. Okay, that's going to be interesting. We're going to have like a pinball machine of leca going down the canes. So, when I'm done with this, with the repot, etc., I shall be scrolling back up as much as I can to see what y'all have been up to. How has your week been? How was your weekend? Etc., etc. In fact, this is a live stream. I like doing these because it's like more of a conversation. It's instead of me on a video, so make sure you converse. For example, hang on a second. Julian and your Lycaste. Mine is growing a fantastic new growth because I'm being very aggressive with the fertilizer this year. As I mentioned in my earlier videos at the start of the season, I am going to be much more adventurous with my fertilizer. So she's getting like 500, sometimes 600 parts per million. Oh, of fertilizer. Right, before I jump. Look, that wasn't too bad. Ooh, I don't mind what I'm seeing here at all. So, timing of the repot here is correctamundo, which is always a good idea. Yes, you can see new roots right in there, which is also fantastic. It's like a confirmation. But what I was always scratching away at the surface, trying to get an idea, was up here. This is sort of my keyhole into what's going on in the pot. And then I could see root tips and white velamen and all that fun stuff. And I thought, yep, we can do this. Besides the fact, of course, I've got new growth coming, but it's not 100% sure when the new growths actually start pushing their roots because of how tight they are to the media. Now, this orchid can tolerate my climate outdoors, which goes all the way down to 5 degrees Celsius in winter. And that's why I didn't shy away or wasn't freaked out by her size. Now, her first winter with me, she did better than her second winter with me, which was the past one, the 22-23 season. So I did bring her in sometimes just because I was a little bit on edge, whether I didn't want to say, she can handle it. I should have done that with my Garen Weaver, actually. I know. Goodbye, Garen Weaver. But anyway, this one, seeing as she's coming from Africa, that whole order is really special to me. So I paid a little bit more attention to her. Now, as the leca is coming out nicely at the bottom, I think we are going to go in and do a bit of cleanup. Whether I take 30% off the length of the roots or see how far we get. These roots are texture-wise like Cattleya. Solid, chunky feeling kind of roots. They look very fleshy, but they have no semblance of the gelatinous roots of which was the orchid that I recently repotted. The roots were really gelatinous. It was bizarre. Gosh, I forget. It's like one repot is leading into another. And I'm being intoxicated by Stan the Man, who is in bloom right next to me. Now, I want to be careful with the new growths. I don't want to be grabbing those, and I don't want to be snapping any off. So let me see. We can, well, it would be good if you could see too. We can do a 30% chop. And I may be able to release the support. Can I release it now? A ver. I have to check where my bird is. Because if my extension cord cable gets anywhere near him, he'll be chomping the plastic off. Right. That's the wrong bucket. I have my hand wash water bucket and my RO water bucket. So let's see. For the time being, I don't need to sit down. You can already be separated. Dang, which orchid was the gelatinous one? Probably the Ancelias, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember. A ver. Yours is growing well, but it's still at 300 because I'm not sure of the tolerance. Yep, I'll test it for you, Julian. I only have one new growth, and I'm putting in 500 parts per million, so I'm not seeing any salt buildup at the surface, and she's right by the window of the winter holding area there, that shelf that is right up against the light, and she's getting a lot of dry air from the breeze that is coming in. So I'm not seeing any salt buildup at the moment, but I will pull back if anything like that happens. Now, this is the first time that I am repotting this orchid. I have no idea how roots will behave if they get chopped off, if they then die. And there's only one way to find out. Whoops, we'll try to avoid nice root tips, like this one there. We don't want to be too stupid about it, if at all possible. So it could be that, like with the Osteocladus spathulifera, you cut into those roots, the rest of the root is just going to die. So it could happen with the Epidendrum schweinfurthianum. I doubt it. I honestly doubt it. But we'll only find out when I repot her again, which will be hopefully in 3 years. That's the plan anyway. So I'm just going to do the Figaro bowl cut, trying to respect nice root tips. And if I miss the mark, Hakuna Matata. Right. I just also have to make sure that I'm not going to get too carried away here, because I do have my extension cord, and I don't want the stream to cut off because I lost battery. I find that the heat draws a lot of the battery energy as well at the moment. And while I say heat, I'm not sweltering hot. I'm still wearing black. I'll probably wear black the entire season, because when I do go into the sun, at least then I feel heat. But for now, we've got 27 degrees Celsius in the shade. So anyway, 5 degrees Celsius is my low. Well, we've had a few days in the 4 degrees Celsius, but at least where she lives during the winter, it's full sun. So she's coping with that quite well. I just saw some anthocyanin start happening on the leaves that had nothing to do with light. That was cold damage. So I thought, yeah, no, you're coming inside. Because if she's not big and established, maybe she's not able to cope with as many challenges that normally an established one could. Todd's Tropical has a huge one. And it looks like one of those bamboo walls that you would have when you buy in the garden center. That's how big this one could get. And in the right climate, and if I had my own property, of course, I would put this one in the ground, but create like a pot well kind of thing for it. And in that, I would put the media of choice. You know, I would actually make like a little, let's say if you were going to make a bog garden, you can do all that if you have it in a contained place and then do the media accordingly. If I had my own property, the potential of this orchid kind of tells me it can go into the ground with its specific care needs in the ground. And then if you propagate, you could make a really nice little hedge, like a bamboo style hedge, but actually with an orchid. Can you imagine? That would be awesome. Hi, is this what people call the bamboo orchid? Good question. I have no idea. It's possible. It's possible, Joshi. Not entirely sure. I haven't gone into my notes to verify that. It would make sense though, because her growth habit and everything else looks just like bamboo. She does lose leaves, like bamboo does as well. So she will drop a leaf and it all feels like it's too high up where the leaves are still young and fresh, but it's just what she does. Occasionally drops some leaves and you can just run run your hands through as if you would run it through hair, and then the leaves come off. So she hasn't given me many issues. I do fertilize her a lot, especially this season, now that she's here the second year with me. I give her also 500 parts per million of fertilizer every time that I fill the reservoir, which can be 2 times a week at the moment, and a lot of calcium nitrate at the moment as well. Also 500 parts per million of calcium nitrate. So that maybe once a month I do that, maybe twice a month if they, you know how the weeks overlap. And before you reach the next month, it's time to do that again. I've been really focusing on calcium nitrate with many of my orchids this season. And it started in spring actually, when new growths were coming and I was afraid to lose them because the conditions were horrible. Now, my support is loose, but it has a little, like a crochet hook thing at the end, and if I pull it through, I'm going to be ripping through roots as well, so I'm not going to do that. It can stay where it is. I've got some fern roots. This orchid looks superb. I'm very, very pleased to see what's going on. And like, if this were to be an orchid that depends on the pot size, whether it's going to grow into something substantial or remain short or on the shorter side, then we're gonna find out what it does. I have 2 pots and I'd like your opinion. You see? That's not too bad. I love the fact that the root system doesn't just, collapse. It actually has a little bit of a branching tendency as well, which is always a sign that it's forgiving and can recover. So, hey, I was going to be here with my headlamps. Instead, we're going to get the 2 pot options. Let me make some space. Things are a little bit crowded on this table. Just one moment. This is not for you, monsieur. You just look at it. Look, but do not touch. I'm going to plug in my extension cord, even though I don't need it for the time being. And I hope we don't lose contact because of it. Yeah, well, 47%. That would have gone downhill very quickly. Okay. Huge. This is what I had prepared initially. We're going to discuss. I'm going to look for your opinions. So this pot, inner pot, is 24 centimeters. Calculate that to inches, please. So this pot is rather large, self-watering as per usual. During the winter, when it rains a lot, I am always taking the inner pot out of the mask so that it can drain. Now, I have another pot that is 21 centimeters. This one is set for self-watering. This one was actually, at the time, I put duct tape on the holes and used it for my Digbiana, which now has a mask, but the inner pot doesn't fit properly. But for now, it looks better than a duct-taped semi-hydro pot. So you see, I have in a bit of a conundrum. Maybe it'll become clearer when I show you the orchid. My first thought, and sometimes we always say go with what you thought first, was this one. 24 centimeters. That'll give me 3 years, considering that the roots branch. Then I thought, what a pain to go out in the rain, and that rhymes. So get the semi-hydro pot out. That's 21 centimeters. We'll be back in 2 years. And again, seeing as this orchid can go really, really tall, my question is, do you think that it's best to put her in a big pot and see if she increases in size? This is not a trick question, because if I were to do this repot for a video, these are all the thoughts that I'm thinking in my head, and then when I do the video, I've made my decision and I explain it. So, we are doing it the raw way. What do you think? I personally don't mind the repotting in 2 years. Not a problem. If I have to go out in the rain, she would not be the only one pulling me into the rain to sort things out. I have to remove the mask from my Masamara, my cymbidium, and my phaeus, you name it. So she's not the only one that takes me out into the rain during the winter, should that be the case. My thought is, bigger pot could equate to taller growths, to mature sized growths. So, hey, Evie Barcode, it is good to see you. You over there on the island. You over there on the island. You've been having la vida, no? It's very good to see you. Welcome back. I think the bamboo orchid is another one. Arunda, thank you. Okay, there we go. Semi-hydro would have less water reserve. Very, very true. Very true. I didn't think of that because either way, I'm always going around pouring water into maxillaria, into the angraecoids, into my kimberlianum. So what's another jug? But you're right. You're right. Absolutely. Huh. Thank you, Julian son. I mean, that's yeah. Okay. You like the large one? Me too. Hey, bienvenido en Andalucía. You left your island. It's good to have you on terra firma. I hope you're having a good time. Big one, yes. So the first thought was the one that, yeah, I think we're going to go with that one. So we are going to be, oh, and by the way, yes, I'm going to do a video, but oh, my body. I'm going to do a video on the cymbidium. I'm going to separate it, rejuvenate it. It looks a mess, but I'm killing the roots first. Before I go into that repot, I'm killing cymbidium roots. It's in the process because, and then I was also thinking, this is going to be perfect for the cymbidium once it's reduced to size. So, yay! We got it. Teamwork. I love it. Right. Big pot. So let's put you back into the catch tray. Let's see how much leca we're going to need. Am I even in the view? There we go. Leca. We're going to need quite a lot of leca. Hakuna Matata. Oh, what a wonderful phrase. Right, I'm going to be using the newest leca that I have, the largest, the one that hasn't soaked as long, because I'm taking into consideration that this orchid is probably, you can throw the kitchen sink at it and it'll be fine. That is my, my assumption. So if there were to be some excess minerals in this new leca, excuse the visual of my extension cord. Maybe I need to move that a bit because if it's going to get wet, we're going to have Short Circuit, which is a fabulous film. Short Circuit is a great film. But having said that, the fact that this leca is so new, it is astoundingly clean. So I've had this now soaking without a water change for 4 weeks. And it's only reached 180 parts per million. So it's not too shabby. Even if it were a little higher than that for this orchid, it would be fine. So it's soaking in RO water. We'll use that and save on some resources. You're on vacation. I love that. The islander comes to the mainland for vacation. Everybody that is on mainland says, I'm going to an island for vacation. That's awesome. The irony. It's fantastic. I hope you've got somebody taking care of your babies at home, Evie. Do we have enough? So basically, this was kind of a root ball chop. There's not really much else going on. And it's not really a cleanup, but ooh, we're creating some serious gas exchange space by doing it this way. All right, we need a little bit more leca. Ooh, just a little bit. Okay. Whoa, I pulled that. Let's see how high I pulled it. Yep, whoa, that was close. Yikes, that came up too easily. So I don't want to be doing this, you know, tipping it all out and starting from scratch. Okie dokie, and all the while, Stan the Man. Whew. You know what's happening to my Stan the Man this year? He's opening his spikes one after the other. So the first spike, two blooms from the smallest new lead. The second spike then opened 3 days later by the time the first spike had gone down. That's now been opened. Today is day 3. The next spike will take about 5 days. So I'm not getting a big, massive blooming. They're all coming in succession. It's just no complaints. Sometimes it's so nice to see them all in one go, and then they're all gone in one go. So this year, it's all coming in succession. And I found another one. I hope it makes it. It's not a new growth, but I hope it makes it. It would be so awesome, because then it would probably bloom by the end of July, and that would give me a blooming period of 6 weeks. That would be insane. 6 weeks? 6 weeks. 4 weeks. That would be insane. There we go. I think that's good. I get my tweezers and find my microfiber. I loved how easily the leca came off the roots. That's another thing, a little characteristic that I appreciate. Are you going to come off? No, we have a little marker for how big the pot was before. When leca comes off easily and you're not, destroying the velamen. Love that. This orchid is growing on me more and more and more. Is that too much foliage in the viewfinder? A ver. Let's do this. And now, Magi. Lots of water. I brought 2 big containers of leca out, thinking I'm going to need it all. I don't think I'm going to need it all. I would like to keep her nicely in the middle, though. So let's just... let's just jiggle the pot. Yeah, well, no. That jiggles the whole table, so... Right. Now, just make sure... Oh, there. Give me my pot. Just here. Arm extension if you can't reach. Right? So I'm pretty tall. I'm 6 foot tall. And yet the table is pretty long. If I need something, I take my tweezers and I pick it up. I reach for it. And there we go. Top tip. Just in case that you needed this valuable piece of information to help you in your repots. Okay. Oh, I have a treat. Unfortunately, I I don't have a tall enough tripod. Maybe, we'll see. We'll see what I can do and show you Stan the Man. Oh, but I have a treat for you in the blooming alley. She only started opening yesterday, so the blooms aren't fully open, but so happy. So happy. And no, it's not a Rapiculus laelia, but she has a Rapiculus laelia as a parent. It's good enough for me. So, yeah, I needed those tweezers to grab my microfiber. Come on, out it. I wanted the microfiber up a little bit more. Big pot. The roots are not all the way down. My dog is in the hedge. Why? Why is he in the hedge? I've got to watch him. Something's going on with him. He's not keeping his food down. The past 2 days have been a little bit dodgy with him, so I'm always looking at him to see what are you eating that you're not supposed to eat. So even his first season in the heat, he took it really well, because sometimes dogs can get a little bit nauseous when it's too hot. Nah, not him. So I don't think it's that. I just have to watch him all the time. Okay, we're going to need a little bit more. Oh, that's fantastic, EV barcode. That's great. I would like to be streaming to Twitter, but when you go live from the YouTube app, you don't have those options. I can't attach any other streaming platform if I'm going on the YouTube app, which is a shame. And I'd like to grow my channel a little bit faster. Oh, speaking of growing the channel, you guys, last week I was like panicking because of that horrible number that I can't stand. Well, Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to get me past that number. Woohoo! Oh, that was so nice. That was so nice to see. Within a week, it was all done. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, that microfiber was high enough. Now it's your turn. Let's see. I've got a cluster of leca right there. Foliage. Let's move that. Ooh, squeaky. Sorry. Some residue. Let's just hold it up so that the leca on that one side. Oh, there's another one over here. Hang on a minute. I feel like a chameleon at the moment. My eyes are, one eye is tilted to the right, watching King, the other one to the left. As long as they don't go cross-eyed, I'm fine. My grandmother always said, because I used to like doing, crossing my eyes when I was a child, and see double. And she said, if you keep doing that, your eyes will stay that way. So, yeah. I'm not sure I believe that, but I don't do it anymore. There we go. Let's take some off the top. You were there. I just bothered some roots. Okay, we're going to have to cover these up. Neat. Until the moss grows back, so that's fine. You can go, oh, no, you stay there. A little bit of Tetris, lekker Tetris. Well, I won't be singing you a lullaby today. Please don't be mad, don't be upset. I was hoping not to get your hopes up too high. But I'm happy that this repot didn't actually take that long. That's awesome. And we just finish off the rim. Ta-da! Hecho! I didn't get much leca out of the pot, but I'll take what I got. I like that she's deeper down. She didn't rise above the other pot. It's not like she lifted herself up. So it's not like something I have to worry about. Anyway, I won't for a long time. We got the microfiber. Okay, a ver. Okay. Hello, Sandy's Orchids. Oh, yes, I am live. So that means you didn't get a notification. That sucks. Oh, look at this foliage. So beautiful. So beautiful. Okay, I'm going to just lift up my extension cord thing here because I'm going to flush her through. Okay. If you could see behind the scenes. Well, maybe it's not such a good idea to see behind the scenes. Oh, you can go into the catch tray. The cable can go over here. It's not draining quickly because this doesn't have any legs, this pot. So I'm going to put her over the edge so at least some holes will drain. Now, I have to remember that I've got 4 microfibers in here. All 4 of them are in the holes. It doesn't mean I'm plugging the holes, but the drainage doesn't happen as quickly as if I would have left 2 open. Considering how big the pot is though, and hopefully how big the orchid is going to get in future, I think it was a right choice to put 4 microfibers in and around the edge. And push comes to shove, if I don't like it, I'm going to pull them out. Because we saw how easy that was. Yeah, you might pull a root here and there, but it wasn't like the whole thing ripped and did a massive amount of destruction. So that's going to take a while to drain. In the meantime, I am going to fill my reservoir just with plain RO water because it's late in the day. The restaurant for the orchids is closed, and I used everything I had available and was dealing with today. I used all of that up. Are you still draining? Yeah, but I didn't put that much in the reservoir. So, complete. What do you think? Oh, not quite. Hang on a second. Yeah, we do need to contain this a little bit. Again, I don't want these growths being all bushy like that. A ver. A ver. Well, I'm glad I didn't do this as a video at the end. So I'm going to put my support back in. I'm going to use that shepherd's hook that I always leave at the end of my support to put the wire through. And it's not like I want them to grow tight or upright. This is more to protect them from me when I move the plant, because, you know, the afternoon, it can take full sun. This orchid is a beast of an orchid when it comes to everything it can handle, basically, you know. But where it lives, there's higher humidity. So there's no real cooling effect for this orchid in my climate at the moment. So I do move it to under the umbrella with the angrecoids in the deep south. And this is just to protect it from me. Gorgeous. Right, we're done. Woohoo! I'm gonna move her out of the way. Where am I gonna move her? I'm gonna move her to the deep south. If you would just give me a minute while I waddle my way over there, and I'll be back with something gorgeous. Ooh, come here. All right. Waddle, 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 waddle. Right. Ah, they've opened a little bit more. Purdy. Come with me. Come with me. I'm gonna show you to people. So smile. Smile. Oh, okay. The leaves don't look really good. Been working with calcium and magnesium. Hey! Bye, EB Barcode. Enjoy your vacation. Good to have you. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate that so much. Hello, Betty David Eyes. How are you? Is it Betty or Bet? How do you say that? Does it make a difference? How did she call herself? Bet Davis or Betty? In the South, they would say Bet, wouldn't they? I'm not sure. Anyway, while I jiggle you around, hopefully not making you nauseous, this is Lelia Zip. Bet. So I'm going to try and remember that. It's a great handle. I love it. Great woman. I love the fact that when she was on the Johnny Carson show, when you look back at those, she just lights up. Cigarette and all. Everybody just back in those days, you know, there was an ashtray. It was all good fun. Oh, how times have changed. Alrighty. So, isn't she pretty? Ah, she is pretty. So she started opening yesterday. They still have to open a little bit more. I had some scale on her, so that was part of the treatment yesterday. This orchid has always been somewhat like, you know, hello, come and settle here. You see this? Let me show you. These are now dead bodies. This growth didn't bloom. Considering how dark it is when she's growing these growths, the fact that I have one growth that bloomed is amazing. But you see, that is from yesterday. I made sure to treat her, and thankfully they're dead, but it is so annoying. This orchid is almost like a beacon. Whether she's in active growth or not, she has to be on a regular rotor. And I didn't move her while she was forming the buds because I don't want them to blast. So, I kind of skipped a couple of weeks of treatment where this then started to manifest itself. But she's a tough cookie. She'll be okay. I mean, the bodies are dead. It's not as if it's taken her out. But last year she did manage to bloom on both leads. I'm just grateful that we have something. She's so pretty. She's not fragrant, but who needs to be fragrant with colors like that? And I suppose I could lift up the spike a little bit. Or I could lower you guys a little bit. No, you can see it. You can see them from all angles. That's good. Alrighty. A ver, let me get to a chair and see. what everybody's been up to. If anybody has any questions, not necessarily orchid-related questions, anything at all. Let me grab my chair. Oh, wait, hang on a second. While you're here, before I sit down and before I forget, my bird is trying to chew himself out of the jungle gym. Okay, I'm going to keep that angle, but I'm going to raise you up. Check it out. Woohoo! Sorry. Sorry, stupid honking horn things. Look, isn't that awesome? Inhale and exhale. And then this one has already faded. The fact that this tiny new lead back here, the fact that that one bloomed is amazing. We got that one yet to come. Got more here. There's a big one coming out. The trajectory was correct. Sorry for the jiggles. So I made that a little bit bigger. There's another one up here, and I'm hoping that it's going to come out through a gap. And then there's two more over here. So this one is going to be the next one to pop. Only 2 buds on that one, but that is a new lead as well. Now, I do want to get this orchid back to size where she will come out with a spike that has 4 like Fernanda does. I sent Fernanda the big one. There's this is only half of the original orchid, you believe it or not, but Fernanda has the twin, and she's got the piece that comes out, and there's 4 buds on the spikes. I would like to get this one to do that. You know, because orchid growers were greedy like that. At least I am. Yay, it's got 8 spikes, but I want to have 4 buds. Oh, we just can't get enough, can we? Righty-ho. Ooh, this chair is also very heavy. At least it won't blow away. So, let me get a drink. Just one moment, please. Parched. Sorry I didn't mute. Apologies for that. As I sit down, Monsieur comes a-running. Here we go. Benaki. Hey, it's good to see you from Bella Italia. No worries, it's so nice that you dropped in to come and say hi. You're at the beach. What a great place to be. What a great place to be. The flower is beautiful, and it looks like something out of Avatar. It's like, and because she's white, she has sort of an octopus or a squid-like texture. It's waxy, but it's not slimy because it's wet, but the waxiness, the texture is absolutely insane, beautiful. 4 blooms was last year and 3 this year. Okay, but it's coming, no? There's more spikes coming. This one right here that we're looking at right now, this is Laelia Zip. She has been with me since 2019. She's an OG. And I forget the parents, but I know there's a Ripiculus Laelia in there. So if somebody's got the Google, I don't want to say it's a Millery because otherwise Michael and Larry wouldn't have gotten me the Longips. I don't know. There's a Ripiculus Laelia in there, and you can see by her the way she grows. She's got the stout, very thick leaves, same kind of texture and characteristics as the parent of the Ripiculus Laelia. Love this. 2 spikes, but 4 new growths. Yeah, I've got 3 new growths coming right now. Already saw the first new growth when the other spike was blooming, and now I'm seeing more growth starting to pop out, which is amazing because I want to push this one really hard. It also got 500 parts per million of calcium nitrate yesterday, but there's something coming through the hob filter material that doesn't look like a new growth. It's growing way too fast. It's not as spiky. I think that is another spike. And if it makes it, that'll be fabulous. And if it doesn't, well, this orchid would have bloomed on 11 spikes if 2 hadn't failed, possibly 3 hadn't failed. That is not too shabby for one that had to struggle with me through the winter, and it got cold damage during the winter. And I'm going to change that. It's ridiculous. I have this towel on this chair. It looks like a beach towel, but that's going to be Stan the man's towel. It's getting more and more faded, so it doesn't look so girly anymore. But that's his towel, and he's going to be wrapped during the winter as well. And I can't take him down anymore. I used to put him on an iron stand, and I'd have him by the deep south when the angraecoids came in to be rained on naturally, etc. I've got nothing here where I can put him into open air so that the elements can take care of him, because everything that's growing out of the bottom now is, I can't put him on a stand. So he's going to have to just hang up the, sorry. So Millery cross, so I do have a Millery. Thank you, Julian Sun. So there is a Millery in my collection, even if the original Millery doesn't make it. And oh, hello, a new growth. But isn't this awesome? Okay, maybe you can see that in the camera. I'm going to try and do this right. This is the lead that didn't bloom for us, but it's already pushing a new growth, which is fantastic. Oh, that's good. I had a feeling there was Millery, but I didn't want to confirm and say something without getting it. And the Tenebrosa that I have, I'm still waiting for my Tenebrosa to bloom. That's an OG in my collection. So isn't that amazing? So we can push this growth because this one is coming in at the right time of year. Usually when this one grows, I have to be so careful with fertilizer. And then I'll obviously balance that with low light. But this is fabulous. Very, very happy. Okay, let's turn her back to her beautiful side. So of course, while this one's blooming, I won't get a new lead. But oh boy, I am pushing. Well, like I said, calcium nitrate, but now for my Phalaenopsis orchids, I'm going to start doing Epsom salt soaks. So this one is also, I'm going to see if this is all related to a magnesium deficiency, because I've been so hesitant to go overboard with fertilizer. I'm going to see if there's any possibility of correcting these blotches on the leaves. She didn't come with them. She got them since she's been with me, so I don't want to be dissing on any nursery when there's no reason to. Some of the blotches are because of scale, but some are very clear magnesium deficiency. You never got a Tenebrosa to bloom. Okay. Huh. That's scary. Let me get mine, because she's right here. She was my image on my Instagram before I started the Ninja Orchids channel. Please do not be put off by the broken pot. That was Ciliano. While I was still bringing orchids inside, and yeah, he found the way to fly to the top shelf and then thought, oh, look, pots. Oh, but sorry for that squeaking. Maybe I should wipe the table. You don't have that sand on glass sound. Yuck. Okay. So here's the new growth. I'm very happy to see it. It's coming in at the right time. This is a growth here that actually started during the winter. But again, small growth, it's fine. It's going to grow its own root system. So I was thinking, what if this orchid's rhythm is that it's growing through the winter and needs bright light? Well, then I'll never see it bloom, but I'm going to keep it alive as best as possible. So when I saw this growth push out, I was like, oh, happy days. Yes, that's what I need to see. Now, when you say that you haven't gotten yours to bloom, yeah, I say that's scary, because here in southern Spain, if I can't give it enough light while this growth grows, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I love this orchid, even though she has never bloomed for me. She comes from the nursery that I have PTSD with, but she's doing fine so far. She's been with me since 2018. So it would be nice if we could get some blooms out of her. That would be awesome. She, like I said, the image of the Tenebrosa, it was the Aurea actually, was for the longest time the bloom on my Instagram avatar. One that I pinched off the internet. Oh, and my Laelia amethyst is in bud. Happy to say. Only on one lead, but hey, She only became a first-time bloomer last year, so all good. Joseph, hello, Carola. It's good to see you. Muchas gracias. Sí, son flores preciosas. Eso es Laelia Zip. Zip like in your jeans, or Cattleya Zip. Some people, maybe I should say Cattleya Zip because that's the right thing to say. I know I'm stubborn with my names. I should be a little bit more, let's say, educated and stop being stubborn if I'm going to do it correctly. Aquí, ven aquí. It's good to see you, Jose. Thank you so much for dropping in. I hope you are doing well, that your weekend was fabulous, and that your orchids are doing well. And one day, I'm not going to... we have an Aphyllum curtain challenge that needs to go public. But, you know, no pressure. Whenever you're ready, sir. Whenever you're ready. I would love to do that as a little bit of a documentary. Okay, Bet. I would love to do that as a little bit of a documentary, a little series every year, maybe. La-di-da. The Aphyllum curtain in Spain and the Aphyllum curtain in Kerala. Zygopetalum Trozy Blue is putting on out a flower spike. 5 blooms! That's awesome, Sandy. Speaking of zygos, woohoo! Okay, move. Don't let me fall on you. Okay, I'm just waddling. Bear with me while I do the waddle again. Speaking of zygos. I am so proud of myself. So proud of myself. Because I did get one a while ago. She had a rotting pseudobulb, and I repotted her with all the wet and the water that I use when I repot. And she was looking very patetico when I bought her, very sad, but I did see the blooms, and we don't get Louisendorf often. Don't see them in the garden center. Her price was reasonable to the point where I said, okay, if I don't do this, I'll kind of kick myself. But there she is. Isn't she pretty? Isn't she pretty? Look at the size of the blooms. Only 3, but she is recovering super well. I'm going to move the zip outside a little bit away from us because, oh, car, hang on a second, I'm going to mute. And we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so that rotten pseudobulb that we dealt with, I used my melon cutter. We still got a little bit left. I'm not going to touch it. That's why I've got a paper towel here. No, déjalo. No. Good boy. That's why the paper towel is here, because there's still, no, ven aquí. There's still a lot of cinnamon accumulated here, which I don't want in the media or anywhere near to any possible roots crawling around. Resident fern, but anyway, so we have the recovery growth right there. Teeny tiny little one, of course didn't bloom. Wasn't expecting it to, but it's marvelous. It's got the pseudobulb. We've got a new growth now coming from this little recovery thing there. And if we move around the other way, there is already another new growth coming from the bulb that is blooming with its spike. So very happy to say that the progress on this orchid is nothing short of fabulous. And her fragrance, oh, you know, spicy, not really sweet. She's not as sweet as the Trozy Blue, but she's got that hint of cinnamon in her, but there's a little bit more of a rose fragrance, dare I say, something like that. I haven't quite really tapped into her fragrance yet because next to her I've got the Neo Phoenicia falcata blooming, and I'm sorry. It's too nice to remove them from each other. Right now, Hibiki, the color scheme of Hibiki. Then I move into this for a color scheme. Then we pan down to the beautiful white dainty blooms of what's left of my falcata. Then we move back into the hues of the Laelia Zip. What can I tell you? The fragrance of the Louisendorf at the moment escapes me to 100 degrees. I don't know. Okay, Julian Sun says, does anyone here know a supplier, the Cattleya pink carambola? Carambola. Oh, I love carambolas, but the fruit, I love those. Oh no. Oh no, Julian, I am so sorry. That is, ooh, I know that feeling. I saw Ciliano chewing on a Laelia perenniae leaf many, many years ago. I about had a heart attack because he also did that with my mailman. And I thought my orchids were far enough away from his jungle gym. And I can't move the rack any further to the right because there's a lamp right there. Otherwise, I'd move it away so I'd have more space. But I don't know how, if he's got turtleneck or whatever, but he reached those leaves and it just, oh, I was so gutted. And then he found how to fly to the grow space and he started chewing on my, what do you call it? Gold Coast. Epicattleya, Epicatante, Xingyu Gold Coast on the pseudobulbs. I just lost it. But yours is completely gone. Mine is set back, but yours is completely gone. I am so, so sorry. So everybody keep an eye out for a supplier for Cattleya pink carambola. I am so sorry to hear that. It's so gut-wrenching. I mean, they're your pets, you love them, but then they take out an orchid. When King did that with some of mine, luckily I could drag my Garciana alba out of his mouth before he took that one out. But when he took one of my Rapiculus Laelias out, I was like, I don't know who needs to leave. It's certainly not the orchid, but priorities, man. I just, no way. Anyway, so there's that. I hope that you can find it. I hope you can replace it. Oh, but I do love carambola, the fruit. That is awesome. What a pretty name. Caroline was the only one who had it from an import a few years ago, and of course they don't have it anymore. Man. Oh, that is so upsetting. God, I feel it. I feel it, man. So, I would like to know, Sandy's Orchids, how is your greenhouse going? If you're still around, if you haven't left, just out of curiosity, I haven't tapped into your latest, your greatest, your update of a greenhouse. Is everything according to plan, growing the way you expected it to? Are you having fun with it? Have you already got a chair, table, and cocktails? Have they been served in there yet? Questions. I'm nosy. So I'm just going to check that out. And if nothing else comes up, I'm going to love and leave you guys because it's not really awesome. There's no need to keep dragging it out. Not because of me, but, just to make sure that I don't leave anybody hanging. Oop, babe. Let me move gingerly here. I don't need to be pouring water all over me. You can go over here. Good, I'm glad to see that. That's great. That's awesome news. Fantastic. Good stuff. So, are we... Oh, yeah, I did disconnect, didn't I? Oops. Let's see how much battery we've got. 36. Okay, we're still okay. Oh, this color combination is just divine. Yes, please do. That would be amazing. That would be fun. I'm growing vicariously in your greenhouse. I'm hitching a ride. Do you have a greenhouse? Yeah, over there. My friend takes care of it. Anyway, if nothing else, I want to say thank you so much for being here for those of you who could make it. Everybody that still has their Sunday ahead of them, make sure that you have a wonderful Sunday. Everybody that is kind of moving into Monday, if you're watching the replay, I wish you a beautiful, beautiful week. And everybody that's heading into Sunday evening, chill out and make yourself comfortable and cozy. So thank you also for being here. Your support is so appreciated. What is my regular parts per million for my fires? Currently 500 parts per million Julian Sun. All the big ones are 500 parts per million, and that can be 2 times a week. I am going through fertilizer like it's like the world is ending tomorrow. I am really pumping it in, and it's doing okay. Let me see if I can move you there. I'm a little bit concerned because of all the cables. A ver, let's go. Let me see. Cable, tripod, dog, the whole 9 yards, as you do. And a live stream, make you fly. Sorry about that. So there it is. Very shredded, very nasty looking. There it is. And this is the first new growth from the lead that didn't bloom, so it's much more advanced. And here's the new growth from the lead that did bloom. What I was thinking the other day about my fires is what a shame that I didn't connect the two with with a wire to really get them more concentrated into the center of the pot. And that thought occurred to me already, but I had already repotted my Masai Red. I should have taken the 2 pieces, combined, joined them into a 1-piece thing with a wire and then potted that up. But I wasn't thinking about it at the time. I was just like a train, 1-track mind. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Next step, keep going. Ooh, I was shattered after that repot. But yeah, she's not pretty, poor little thing. Ooh, yeah, what a shame. When you misjudge your competence, it's like, it's a reminder of, come on. So we go back to these blooms before before I say goodbye. Let's leave on a positive note. Yeah, they can handle it, Julian. They're terrestrials. They can handle it. I wouldn't think that that's anything to worry about. Okay, now though, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, whatever it is that you're doing. On that one condition, though, please, that you stay safe. Take care, everybody. Thanks so, so much for being here. Also, that includes the replay crew, if you've made it all the way through. Thank you so, so much. I appreciate you guys.